Today, I'm going to be reviewing this all-new Stellar Rooftop Tent by TopOak. I previously did a review this spring on the Galaxy 1.0 and had the luxury of running that tent all summer. And I'm just overall impressed with the quality of product that TopOak kicks out. They keep building on their lineup of great tents, and this new Stellar tent, I think, does a great job of finding that sweet spot between competing with quality of the higher end rooftop tents like a Roof Nest, but at a price that competes with those more Amazon type tents that are going for under $1,000. So they've kind of carved out just that perfect spot where you're going to pay just a couple dollars more to get some of the nice quality that you can get at the higher end tents at a price that's a little bit more comfortable for everybody. At the end of this review, if you like what you see with this Stellar tent, I have a code that I'm going to be putting in the description that will give you $200 off for their Black Friday event that's going on right now. After that event is over, that code will still be good for an additional 10% off all rooftop tents by TopOak. So let's get into the unboxing and see what this thing's all about.
When I saw the crate for the first time, it was pretty understandable why TopOak no longer sends their tents in cardboard boxes. This crate really went through something during shipping. It may have been dropped. The cover of it was completely off. The delivery guys just kind of had it laying on top. There was holes in the plywood. So I was a little concerned as to what I was going to open up and see. But to my surprise, there was just a couple minor little scratches on the side and along one of the back ends of it. So we're good to go.
All right, before we open this thing up, I just took a look around the outside to see if there's any improvements made on this tent over, say, the Galaxy 1.0 or other tents kind of in the same category. One thing I'm noticing is this rail that they've installed all the way across the top on both the left and right side. And what I'm guessing this is for is so you can mount a solar panel or something to the top of this tent just using these channels alone. This does come with an optional roof rack as well, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But that would actually mount over the top of that then. So you actually still have two levels of attachment points. So say you mount your solar panel, you can still mount kayak, bikes, any kind of other storage equipment up there as well. So that's a really nice added feature to this tent. Knowing that this has awnings over the doors, we do have the brackets that are going to be necessary for the rods that'll kind of help pop out those awnings. Otherwise, everything's pretty standard. Great quality aluminum build. All the seams are nice and sealed. You have these great channels for mounting, say, an awning on the side of this. They do make a bracket to mount like their 270-degree awning right to the side of the tent. So it just creates this really nice organized system. And then pretty standard, nice stainless steel gas struts. So with that, I think why don't we take a look inside and see what this tent comes with. The hinges themselves and the latches, really nice quality construction. They do come with a key, and just like most tents do, that allows you to lock it. So that's just a nice added feature. Just pops open, and the gas struts are going to take it from here. So pretty standard. I do love this feature. It just kind of helps tuck in all the material with this included bungee. So pull that down. And then from there, the thing I love about this TopOak tent, this modified wedge style has this nice kick out. And then the biggest feature here that I love is these awnings that go over the door on the left and right. So no matter what kind of weather you're in, you're going to be able to get in and out of your tent without rain flying in the tent. So we'll talk more about that here shortly, but let's just take a look at what this comes with. So first thing, we have this nice carrying case that contains our ladder. So we'll open that up here in a little bit. These are the rods for the awning. Set of 4 of those. Then we have these nice included shoe bags. So we have 2 of them. Just great Velcro. If you want to keep your shoes on the outside of the tent, you can do that, or anything else that you don't want to bring inside your tent at night. What I like about TopOak's system is there's a rail that runs all the way along the exterior of the tent. And this tent has 3 entry points. So some people might enter from the back or the left or right side. This allows you to put these shoe bags on whichever side of the tent you are going to be accessing. And simple as that. So I have another tent that only has shoe bags attachment points on the back side of the tent. So that does me no good because I have to access my tent from the side. So I have no way to mount my shoe bags in a place that's easy for me to access. So this is a really nice feature. All right. Let me have all the mounting hardware. That's what I'm guessing is in this bag. So everything you need to mount it to the top of your roof is included here. I also like their brackets. Nice powder coated brackets with a little bit of rubber lining on them. So just a little bit better quality than some that you get with some of the more budget friendly tents, like say a Wildfinder or Nature Nest. And then this is something new, a remote control for the actual light that's included. So it has a dimming setting, you can change the different colors, and it even has a timer. So now you can kind of go to bed and set a timer for 30 minutes if you want, and it'll shut off on its own. So that's great. And then lastly, like I mentioned, this does come with an included or optional roof rack. So you have these 2 rails with a center channel. Nice sturdy aluminum build. And then all the mounting hardware that's necessary for that. So here's your mounting brackets for that additional roof rack hardware. And what I always like about TopOak when they send stuff is they do include all the tools necessary for mounting. So just a really nice 13mm ratchet wrench. So not just a regular wrench, but a ratchet wrench. So just some small details that I think kind of set them apart from other budget-friendly tents. All right, so with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead, get this thing set up, and then we'll take a little bit more detailed walk around. All right, so like other rooftop tents, this doesn't take very long to set up, a couple minutes. A couple big things that stand out to me, obviously the awnings. There's been times I've been in a rainstorm with a wedge style tent that does not have the side awning. As soon as you need to get outside, open up that door, rain comes in. So this is just nice protection from kind of the weather, snow, water, whatever. And then my eye goes up to here, which is a nice extra vent that they've included in the tent. So that's going to really help with condensation, having that access point for air to travel in and out of. So this is something that's a nice benefit on this tent as well. Some of the other things like the Galaxy 1.0 has this really nice skylight over the top that has both a screen as well as a nice plastic cover. So you can keep it open at night. Even if it rains, you're going to be protected. Pretty standard is a extra strap that helps you when it's mounted on top of your car, pull it down. So other than that, I think that's it for the exterior. We should move inside.
The first thing you're going to notice when you look inside this tent is the large skylight overhead. Really sheds a lot of light, and it's just a great feature to have as you're kind of looking up at the night sky. The next thing that stands out to me is all the storage that's provided in this tent. You have 6 pockets across the front, pockets on the sides, pockets in the back. You have plenty of places for your keys, flashlights, you name it. The entire top of the tent is covered with a fabric liner. This is meant to help prevent condensation. Trying out the zippers on the doors and screens, these things are nice and smooth, so just kind of building on that idea that these tents really do have some nice quality components integrated into them. The mattress in this tent is made out of high density foam, and getting out the tape measure, I was pleasantly surprised to find that this thing's almost 3 inches thick, so that's going to be nice and comfortable. And then that paired together with this nice moisture barrier underneath is going to help keep everything nice and dry. And the last feature that stands out to me is the LED USB light. This is a dimmable light. It has multiple color settings, and now they even have a remote control that you can control all the light settings from, as well as have a timer. So you can set it for 30 minutes and forget about it. It'll shut off on its own. So now that we've taken a good look at the exterior and interior of this tent, I just wanted to take some time to really show you another tent that I think is the most comparable to the TopOak Stellar, which is the Roof Nest Falcon 3 Evo XL. This tent is also a modified wedge tent, but this is what we would consider more of that high-end tent. So taking a look at some of the basic features, when we get to weight, the Stellar comes in at about 176 pounds compared to the Falcon, which is about 173, compared to the Falcon's weight of about 170 pounds. So we're talking about 5 or 6 pounds here. Not really that big of a deal. As far as how many people this sleeps, they both are considered between a 2 and 3 people tent. The Falcon is a little bit wider, so you might be able to fit a full 3 people in there. The Stellar, I would say, is more about 2 adults and a child could fit comfortably in that tent. As far as waterproofing, they're both very good as far as their rating, so no concerns there. When it comes to mattresses, the Stellar comes in with a thicker, high-density foam 2 3/4 inch mattress. The Falcon has a 2-inch memory foam mattress. I haven't tried out the Falcon, so I can't say which of these two mattresses is more comfortable. The lighting is almost identical. They both have USB dimmable LEDs. Stellar does come equipped with crossbars to mount on top of the tent. The Falcon has optional crossbars, so you can get them. They're just going to cost you an extra $119. So when you're already paying top dollar for a tent, it would be nice if all those extras were included. So that leaves us with the one thing that I think is a deciding factor between these two tents, and that is overall cost. The Stellar comes in after everything's said and done, shipping and handling, taxes, discounts, $1,600. The Falcon 3 Evo XL, after a $1,000 discount, $200 shipping, you're still going to pay $3,250. That's 2 times more than the TopOak Stellar. I encourage you to do your own research and come up with your own conclusion of which of these two tents is right for you. But for me personally, I could never justify paying double for the Falcon 3 Evo XL when the TopOak Stellar is comparable on so many levels.
Now, I think it's really important to mention that we should not only be comparing the Stellar to the higher end rooftop tents, this should also be compared to the Amazon tents that retail for closer to $1,000. What TopOak has done here is really found that sweet spot where they have the build quality and the features of the higher end tents, but at a price that's almost comparable to these lower end budget friendly tents.
So this is the Wildfinder. It's a 2-person tent. It's a perfectly good tent for under $1,000. It does have an awning. It has all the pockets on the interior. And it does have an LED light, but this is where things change. It's a single button LED. There's no dimmable feature to it. The mattress itself is only 2 inches thick, so it's not going to be nearly as comfortable as the TopOak mattress. As far as the shoe bags, this is a little bit frustrating. They only have mounting points on the back of the tent. So for me, I can't even use them because I need to mount them on the sides. The latches are a little bit flawed in my opinion. After you unlatch it, it re-latches itself. So you actually have to lift up on those latches and push the tent up from the latches. That's hard to do from the ground. And then when I close this down, there's a thing that I noticed that the fabric is folded a little awkward where it keeps pushing out on the sides, and you just really have to kind of work to keep it tucked in. So not the same kind of quality you get in a TopOak. Doesn't have the same features like the kick out, but for under $1,000, it's kind of what I would expect. So as I'm getting this thing closed up and ready to put on top of the 4Runner, there's one last thing I want to see, and that's if I can close this up with my sleeping bag and pillow inside, as well as the ladder and the rods for the awnings. So I'm going to go ahead and close this thing up. I think there's a trick to this though. You should push this all towards the front because all of this bulky material from this kick out needs this space here in order to be able to close down tight. So let's see what we can do here.
Not a problem. So I had no issue getting that to close. I didn't have to push down very hard to squeeze it all down. So yeah, I would say you can definitely close this thing up with your pillow and sleeping bag inside. All right, well, we got the tent on top of the 4Runner. If you want to see a full install video of how I mount my rooftop tents to the top of my Princey roof rack, just go ahead and click on this link here. That'll take you to a video where I install the TopOak Galaxy 1.0 and give you a thorough walkthrough. But for this video, let's get into it. I'm going to open this tent up and do one more thorough final walkthrough. All right, well, that took all of about 2 minutes to set up, and I think it looks pretty good on top of the 4Runner. It fits it perfectly. You know, these kick-out wedge-style tents, I'm really impressed with the amount of space that that design really allows for. So, you know, they have that Galaxy 1.0, this Stellar. It's just a great design overall. And now they've gone ahead and improved it with that awning. I can't say enough about that awning. I've been in rain and, you know, my sleeping bag gets wet when I open up that door. This is going to solve that problem. So overall, I'm really impressed with this design. Well, before we wrap up this review, you know, obviously this is another great tent by TopOak, but I want to circle back to something I was talking about earlier, where TopOak as a company, I think, is doing a really great job of, you know, dialing in that sweet spot of being able to compete on quality and construction with those higher end tents like the $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 roof nests that are out there. But at the same time competing with the lower end tents that are on Amazon, like the Nature Nest or Wildfinder, that are retailing for around $1,000. So, you know, this tent being $1,500, that's a little bit easier to swallow, making that leap from $1,000 budget-friendly tent to something that's going to give you a little bit more quality and some better features that might be more what you'd expect from that higher end tent. So if you're liking what you're seeing here, you're thinking of getting one, TopOak is running a deal right now through Black Friday, $200 off. I'm going to put a code in the description. After Black Friday is over, that $200 off sale will change over to a 10% off discount code, and that'll be good for their entire lineup of tents. So if you like this content, you found this review helpful, go ahead, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.